Kings are actually similar to current day politician, except they are much worse. And before I get into the video, this is not about the movie just got released in North India, so it is about the rest of the kings. Okay, let's get into it. Welcome to Raghulan. Thank you for all the love and support. If you like my videos, subscribe to the channel. Recently, I've got messages from a lot of people saying that, Rahul, your videos have got comments which are very sensible, and you can see those comments are been appearing on all my videos as well. People appreciating how people are very polite and very intelligent in arguing things. So let's keep it that way. That will, over a period of time, that actually builds a group of intellectuals, and we can actually learn quickly from each other and we can grow together. So which is what I really want. And at the same time, if you guys don't like what I'm saying, I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but you can happy to protest it. You can see like people who are protesting, who are saying that I'm absolutely wrong, I will even give them a heart symbol. You can see that. The whole point is like, what I say is based on my observation and what I understood things. What you saying could be from your version, and which could actually something be much better than what I'm saying. So happy to protest, go and do it. You just don't do it with hate or sarcasm, because people not going to take it in a right sense and they're just going to throw it back at you. It's not going to be good for your health. And then profanity will be done by only less intelligent people. Let us not do it. I'm not going to allow those people into it. You can actually leave my channel if you're going to use profanity. Before, again, another thing is like, this video is not about whatever the movie that was released in North India is about a king. People are very fanatic about it right now. So this video is about, except those two Maratha kings, I would say, Shivaji, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and then his son, I think. So those two kings, and this video is about every other king, all other king, and then about these ones. It's just, because those people are not going to think at this moment. They'll be completely fanatized with the music and great storytelling. They are in love with that character right now, so they're not going to think. So let us talk about the rest of the people who have not seen their favorite king fanatic movie yet. Kings are actually similar to the current day politicians. Actually, they are much worse. So today, politician can do anything to come into power, because they know that once they come into power, it's very absolute. Power corrupts absolute power. Like it's very corruptive. It's very addictive. So the same way the olden kings, they may be little kids and all that. As they grow, and when they know that there is a time that they can grab power, they don't even hesitate killing their own father or brother or mother or anyone. So that has happened plenty of times and plenty of locations around the world. And sometimes those history have been hidden, because once the king comes into power, make sure that no one talks about it, make sure no one writes about it. So that's one thing. And second thing is like, once they come into power, they don't want to go, they don't want to leave, and they are not very magnanimous giving the power to someone when they are alive. Most cases, the someone takes it from them by killing them. And sometimes there is also history that the king, in order to stay in power, he will actually kill his elder son or his brother or a friend or anyone who might be competing for the crown. And then freedom of speech is just a joke, and that it doesn't exist. And most people think that, okay, that is a golden age. This is a golden age. Every country, people will talk proudly about their king. But most cases, the golden age doesn't exist anywhere. In the last 15-20 years is, I would say, like the golden age of human history. The reason being is like, today, you can talk about any powerful politician. I can talk about Trump. I can talk about Putin. I can talk about Modi. I can talk about Stalin. I can talk about any politician being right next door to that politician. I can talk about him on social media, even go into the road in front of his office, I can shout it. And that freedom is something only a golden age can guarantee it. And now if you look at all those golden ages, golden age, the freedom of expression doesn't exist. There are punishment called impalement, where a sharp metal or a wooden rod will be there, and people will be forced to sit on top of it, and they will die a most painful death. And the death will happen over a period of weeks. And most of those punishments, if you see it, like they are meant to be very scary. They are meant to be very, I would say, like, so that people doesn't do that again. Anyone who protests against the king, they'll go through all of these kind of things. They'll go through very severe punishment. They'll go through very hardship and have a very painful death, so that others don't do the same thing. And so that's one story. And another story is, there is no people writing against the king. Even today, if you look at it, any country that you go, majority of the media is actually favoring the ruling party, because medias are all run by huge corporates, and who needs help of the government in doing a lot of things. So of course, they'll be favoring the ruling party, and that is what happens today. But those days, there is no ruling or opposition. There is only one ruling party. There is no opposition at all. So in that case, media has no other option. And media is like who? Basically the people who are employed by the king, and they work in the court of the king itself. Imagine you are working in the court, just sitting in front of King Ashoka or Akbar or Chola or Rajaraja Chola or any king. I mean, like King Henry. People think that, okay, I didn't mention any Christian king. I'm a Christian. People say all that thing. So let's name all those kings: Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, all those kings. And if you sit in front of the king and then if you talk against the king, do you think then the king will say, wow, very good, you are a very fair man, you are standing for the justice? Do you think that that will happen? It will be, he will make an example out of this guy. And so there is no freedom of speech. And if you go to most of those temples, they'll tell all the great stories about the kings, all the great things they have done for the people. That is all the stories that have been there. And but at the same time, like if you look at all of those big buildings, and most of those big buildings doesn't serve real purpose for the people. If you look at all the big temples, people don't go and live in there. Maybe during the time of disaster people might go, but again, like how many people it's gonna hold? I looked at all the bigger temples. I've been to a lot of big temples around Tamil Nadu, but most of this big temple can hold like probably around 500 people. But generally even a small village will have more than that. So they are built to actually boost the ego of the kings. And if you look at it, like who built it, they'll obviously say it in upright, saying that this is built by the great king Rajaraja or Henry or some kings, whomever they built it, they actually be proud of it. So it is to boost their ego. It is to, other than like military installations to boost, to protect his power. And rest of those buildings are actually to boost their ego. Of course, you might ask me like, okay, Rahul, haven't the kings done anything good? So I'm asking the same question. Haven't the politician today haven't done anything good? Even take the most corrupt politician. I don't want to name. I think there is some guy who did a lot of almost every politician you can name it, everyone is corrupted. But you take the most corrupted one, you will see it that he would also done something good, because he needs to show some report card in the next election campaign saying that look, I have done all these 10 things. So for that he needs to have something to show it. So imagine those days, even kings need support of the people. If the people are continuously creating unrest or revolt or anything like that, king is going to waste most of his time suppressing it, and it is not of his interest and doesn't even give him any joy. And he doesn't, there are kings who get joy out of it, but most kings actually want to conquer, who want to loot, who wanted to bring a lot of things what they want. And then today, if you look at any politician, if he wants to do anything immorally, he have to go behind the public view, because his public persona is like he's a very kind man, he's for justice and all that sort of stuff. You cannot have that persona and say like, okay, I have like 5 mistresses. So you have to go behind the public eyes to do it. But those days the king is actually very proud of it, and he's like, say, look how man I am, and how many wives I have. Like I have 1,000 wives, and I have like 5,000 mistresses, and I can kidnap anyone, be it a children or woman or someone's wife or a daughter, I don't care, I will kidnap them. And so that has happened, and most kings will have thousands of wives. And so that's another thing as well. But apart from that, guys, like don't be fanatized by all of these things, because the story that you see is all made by very experienced movie makers. They would have made horror movies before. They would have made a very serial killer movie before. They would have made a gangster movie before. They gained experience of what people like and how to tell the story. And now they are making a story about your favorite king, because they know that if they made it good and that is going to be a commercial value. Are they actually giving those movies for free? No, actually this is a commercial product, and commercial product should be successful for the producers to make money. So now for that to happen, it needs to have all the commercial values, such as it needs to be very entertaining and enjoyable, and that is what they will put into the movies. And now what happens is they'll take a very good director, very good actor. Like say for example, if you the Jodha Akbar movie, Hrithik Roshan as Akbar, everyone will fall in love with Akbar. So there is no question about it. But if you go to the actual Akbar, and then if you ask him, let's say, how is Jodha, and like Akbar will be asking Jodha who, because he will have thousands of wives, and then like you wouldn't even remember the name. But that is all made up things, and then as if Akbar lived with just one woman and stuff. And even Shah Jahan, that's another story, we should make it. But that's the thing, like apart from their public persona, there is like a real person behind it, and that person is like with all absolute power, he's going to be corrupted. So think about it, don't get fanatized, because as I said, like these stories are made by very expert directors and very good looking actors who are very experienced in acting, bring out the best sentiments and all that sort of stuff. And so you will fall in love. Of course, the music is from A.R. Rahman, and then that will enhance the feeling of the flavor of the emotions as well. So you will fall in love. And imagine like when Bahubali 1 got released, and at the end of it, Bahubali was killed by Kattappa. Everyone was questioning, everyone was angry about Kattappa, everyone was crying for Bahubali as if he's like a real king and he's real a soldier. So the same thing is happening now. So if this story was told incorrectly, there are plenty of king movies have come and they've not been as big as hit as like the current ones right way that we have. It's just expert storytelling that you're seeing. So instead of this king, if you take Bahubali or put any fictional character, you would have still got emotional. You would have still got more fanatic about it. It doesn't mean that I'm not actually saying that these kings have not done to the people or something. The kings would have done it. Same with any mafia or gangsters or anyone. They will actually help people around their suburb, around the location where they live. Because without their loyalty, they will not be able to live securely. They will not be able to live peacefully. They need, even if you look at all the Veerappan is one of those guys who actually lived in forest, and he was actually selling sandalwood. He's a part of Tamil Nadu. He was like a mafia. He was doing that for several years, and police were not able to catch him because like locals were supporting him, because he was actually giving money to locals. He was helping locals. And the whole point of helping people is like not because like he loved everyone. How can I actually go and love someone like a random person and then he's in distress? Okay, yeah, I can feel sorry. That is what we do right now. Whenever we see something in Instagram, we're not actually donating it. We'll say like amen or pray for this guy or rip or something like that, and then we'll scroll to the next reel. But those days they'll go and purposely help all the people in distress and help people in the villages, because their support and loyalty is what actually secures their livelihood, secures their operation, is keep going without any disruptions. So that's the same thing that would have happened in olden days. That doesn't mean that all the kings are bad, In South, there is a king called Karikalan, and he built a dam, and that is still working after 2000 years. Just imagine, the dam is still working for 2000 years, and that is built for agriculture. So similarly, like Shivaji has done some really good stuff, and the other kings have done some good stuff. But as I said, like we only see the good stuff. So because those days medias are owned completely by kings. Anyway guys, hopefully I didn't actually hurt anyone. Let's see. Okay, we'll catch up again in another video guys. Thank you so much for all the love and support. If you like my videos, subscribe to it. Thank you.